Come on in, guys. Welcome to Idled Out, where we talk all things Survivor. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about 5 times Survivor players lied about who they voted for, whether that be outright or by omission, or in the case of one, lied about her voting intentions. I'm guessing you know who I'm referring to. Lying about who you voted for is a seriously underutilized strategy in Survivor, perhaps because it requires a game-long commitment to a lie, a great poker face, and the risk is rarely worth the reward if you get caught in your lie. I mean, after all, it only requires the liee to simply cross-check their references to confirm that someone's being less than honest here. Surely, these people would do the bare minimum to confirm if they're being lied to, right? So yeah, I guess it makes sense that only a handful of times in Survivor history have players attempted this strategy, but it's actually got a pretty high success rate, at least for the times we've actually seen it on TV. Everything from simply getting the target off one's back, all the way to getting a sweet advantage out of the whole deal. I mean, yeah, these people could have been honorable and owned their votes, but where's the fun in that? All that said, let's dig into 5 times Survivor players lied about their votes, to great success. At number 5 is the original vote denial, Richard denying he voted for Stacey in Survivor Borneo. When Tagi loses the first immunity challenge in Survivor history, Sonia is sent home in a vote of 4-3-1 over Rudy and Stacey. The solo vote? That would be Rich's for Stacey, who in his own voting confessional admits he's not really even sure why he's voting for her, citing subtle reasons. Rich was right to target Stacey though, because unbeknownst to him, she was actually rallying the women together to take out Rudy, a plan that was foiled by Sue, who seems to revel in her duplicity.
Stacey came up to me and it's like, she don't like Rudy. And she's like, oh, I think we're going to vote for Rudy and vote him off because he's so barking. Well, anybody's too barking, too bossy is Stacey because she doesn't move her ass. The chicks think I'm voting for one person and I'm not.
Stacey was legitimately the only person who could have given Hatch a run for his money, the only other player on the season thinking strategically and at least a few steps ahead. Although to his credit, Sean was thinking 26 letters ahead. In episode 2, Stacey actually asks Rich about this vote, wondering if he knows who sent a vote her way. But he lies by omission, letting Stacey just come to her own conclusions that Rudy voted for her. Sure. Stacey's belief that Rudy voted for her, courtesy of Rich, contributes greatly to her continued targeting of Rudy, a generally beloved figure on Tagi by everyone not named Stacey. In fact, her entire logic for targeting Rudy is kinda weird.
We've all seen him eating extra food and doing inappropriate things in the kitchen, like he's leaving the knives out, they're getting rusty.
Alright, I have an issue with this word choice here. When I think of inappropriate things happening in the kitchen, I don't think of an old man leaving a knife out overnight. I think of Thanksgiving 1997 and my weird Uncle Al. Despite clutching the second immunity challenge for Tagi, the tribal tides ultimately turn against Stacey, and she somewhat unjustly earns the reputation as the weakest member of the tribe, leading to her episode 3 elimination. Honestly, Rich lying to her about his vote probably didn't change much. She still probably would have targeted Rudy and probably would have been voted out third regardless. She didn't have many allies on Tagi. But it's an early insight into Rich's shrewd game, both an understanding that Stacey was his biggest strategic threat and an early example of Rich's willingness to do what it takes to win the money. Imagine if Sean found out about all this though. He'd be shook. What, you lied? At number 4 is Stephanie lying to Bobby John about voting for him in Survivor Palau. At the Final 5 of Palau, or the first Final 5, ULONG's Final 5, the tribe is going to vote off Ibrahim for his poor performance in the previous challenge. But because Karor won said previous challenge, they were able to give anyone from ULONG immunity for this one vote. And at Tribal, they give immunity to Ibrahim, sparing him elimination for this round. That's a problem for everyone else on ULONG, because now they are at a loss as to where to vote, and don't have any time to scramble or figure things out. So the chips fall where they may, as Stephanie and Angie vote for Bobby John and James vote for Angie, and Ibrahim votes for James. On the revote, Angie is sent home unanimously. For about half a second, it actually looks like ULONG might bounce back after this. They actually win one of the best rewards of the season, swimming in a jellyfish lake, and some Pringles printed with Survivor trivia on them.
All right, ready? Which Survivor Pearl Islands castaway has a daughter named Rhea?
Rupert.
Yes.
What? How do you know that? However, Oolong's brief luck runs out and they lose their 5th immunity challenge in a row. When they get back to camp, Bobby John asks Stephanie outright if she voted for him, which she flatly denies. And he accepts that as truth on the belief that the handwriting was masculine. Logically, then, the only person who could vote for him is James. This actually causes Bobby John to ally with Ibrahim this round and target James, as well as to form a final 2 pact with Stephanie because she's just so trustworthy. Or final 2 of this tribe, that is. James goes home this round, all based on Stephanie's lie to Bobby John that she voted for Angie. I mean, the order of operations on who goes home when on Oolong really doesn't matter. They were all doomed in what I can assume is some sort of cosmic punishment, but we might have squeezed another episode or 2 out of James if Stephanie hadn't lied about her vote. Imagine James as the last Oolong standing. I can't actually think of a more fitting representative for this disaster of a tribe.
Jeff's a son-bitch. I'll tell you that.
At number 3 is something a little different. Natalie's lie about her vote for Alec in Survivor San Juan del Sur. By the final 7 of San Juan del Sur, Jeremy's alliance had assumed full control of the game, having picked off Josh's alliance completely, except for Keith and Alec. Well, and a brief detour to vote off Jeremy himself, courtesy of John and Jacqueline. And as Josh's alliance fell one by one, Natalie was patiently waiting for the perfect time to go full Kill Bill on John, biding her time for an opening to take John out. She even brings John and Jacqueline on a reward so as to make them extra unsuspecting of their impending downfall. At Final 7, Natalie and Baylor actually plan to defect to Keith and Alec to take out John. But John's clutch immunity win saves his neck, even if he doesn't know it. So Natalie devises a plan to make the best of a bad situation. The main alliance wants to split votes, and she switches her vote from Keith, who was the main target, to Alec, who goes home, buying her the loyalty of Keith, as well as Keith's weird challenge prowess to hopefully beat John at immunity in the future. I mean, what can I say? The dude is good with balls.
Keith, his ball is on the move. Wes's ball is on the move.
Little bit of movement by Keith. Little bit of a breeze. Joe's balls move a little more.
It just is challenges I'm good at. Balancing, like you said. I can't, ball savviness.
Later that night, as everyone wonders how Alec voted for himself, Natalie plays dumb and tells one of my favorite lies ever. She got the vote mixed up. Whoopsie. Everyone somehow buys this lie hook, line, and sinker, and Natalie gets her revenge later this episode, fulfilling her vow to blindside John and completely wowing a jury who was desperate to see something, anything interesting happen. I mean, they're positively stunned. At number 2 is Sarah's feigned surprise at Sierra's elimination in order to secure the legacy advantage in Survivor Game Changers. Around the mid-merge of Game Changers, Sierra emerged as a major powerhouse player and even had a ride or die in Brad, possibly Survivor's least iconic dynamic duo ever. And given their ever-increasing power in the game, Sari and Andrea decide it's about time to break them up like some well-placed government intervention. Sierra, of course, also made the massive mistake of telling Sarah about the legacy advantage earlier in the episode, in an attempt to gain her trust, even telling her that she can will it to someone after she's eliminated, basically incentivizing Sarah to blindside her. Although Sarah actually says she wants to keep Sierra now because she's giving her information, so Sierra's plan actually kinda worked. Later, after drinking some water and eating something so she can think a bit more clearly, Sarah realizes she has to blindside Sierra to get that legacy advantage, which is good because most everyone else is on board with that plan too. So before Tribal Council, she approaches Sierra to shore up her trust, giving her most believable performance that they're still allies.
I mean, it's us, right? I love you. You're my, it girl out here.
To be fair, this is actually Sarah at a 10 energy level. At Tribal Council, Sierra catches most of the votes, including Sarah's, but Sarah fakes surprise at the results as Sierra's torch is snuffed. This actually works. Sierra wills Sarah the legacy advantage, even though in her final words she questions whether Sarah backstabbed her or not. This was also potentially a game-winning move for Sarah, as without it, at Final 6, she'd be one of 2 people eligible to get votes, which is not generally a good position to be in, although it's a lot better than Suri being the only person eligible for votes and going home by default. No, I'll never not be mad. This is one of my favorite Sarah moves and really emblematic of her Game Changers game as a whole. She really was everyone's it girl. The most iconic voting lie in Survivor history is TERESA lying to Lex about her stray vote for him in Survivor Africa. At the final 10 of Survivor Africa, Lex and everyone else target Clarence, feeling they can spare a Boran at the merge because they have the numerical advantage, and the Samburus all hate each other. They'll never work together, except T-Bird. Everyone loves T-Bird. But Lex shouldn't, because T-Bird voted for Lex at the final 10, thinking it wouldn't be a big deal. Everyone in the tribe had already unanimously agreed to eliminate Clarence. T-Bird respects Clarence for his immunity challenge performance. He went toe-to-toe with her for 6 hours. Let's just throw a vote on Lex. I mean, how nuts could he go?
I will not live with the snake.
Yeah.
I will cut the head off of whoever it is that did this. And whoever it is that has poisoned this with scheming and lying is going to go down next. That is just the way it is. And I'm going to take them out. I'm going to slit their throats.
Yeah, seeing his name written down not once but twice sent Lex on a rampage, interrogating everyone on the tribe, trying to smoke the mole out. When he eventually gets to T-Bird, he's actually at his most chill, because other than Tom and Ethan, T-Bird is probably the least likely person to vote for him. T-Bird just lets Lex vent, not owning up to her vote. I mean, probably because Lex tells her basically that he's going to eliminate this person if it's the last thing he ever does. So she wisely just keeps quiet and nods along, allowing Lex to believe she's completely innocent.
I mean, I didn't think it'd be that much of an impact. I thought, shoot, 10 votes. He got 2, didn't get 8. Oh, what's the big deal? He's here. But it wasn't like that a bit.
Because T-Bird never comes clean as the mystery Lex vote, he eventually lands on his own ally Kelly as the culprit. Because, I presume, she's not as sympathetic to this whole crusade thing as he'd like. Eventually, it becomes clear to Kelly that Lex is gunning for her, and their final conversation is downright awkward.
The whole thing about the vote against you wasn't me, so if that would be anyone's reason to vote against me, I would really hope there was more to it than that.
It's going to be what it's going to be.
One in the dark, one in the light. It's like poetry. T-Bird's lie of omission to Lex made a paranoid person even more paranoid, and Lex pretty much stays at this level the rest of the game. It almost flipped control of the game over to Samburu, with Kelly happily defecting to the 4 remaining Samburu to vote out Lex. But Brandon flips to Boran for basically no reason, so Kelly goes home here. Then everyone from Samburu one by one. Now, there is one net positive here, even though we lost Kelly far too early and were probably robbed of a T-Bird win. On the bright side of things, Lex was irritated beyond all reason. And isn't that what really counts? Got nothing else for ya. To be my it girl, like and subscribe, and I'll get you more Survivor content just like this. Until next time, don't get idled out.